Hello, I'm Ed Overstreet, and welcome to the Night Sky Imaging YouTube channel. Today we're going to be looking at a couple of new tweaks that I picked up from Adam Block when using the weighted batch processing script. So let's head over there. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my process icons, and bingo. Let's open up my screen transfer function. I'm going to bring up the script, the weighted batch processing script, and it should have populated my last run. And in the last run, I'm just going to clear this out and set this up for you again. Probably the best way to do this. So I found some data that I had not processed. That's one of the advantages, really, of having 2 months of no clear skies. And I've gone back over things I've worked on in the past and reworked on them, and I found some data sets that I haven't worked with because they're really not all that good. And I happen to find one that's probably not all that good, but we're going to work on it anyway because it demonstrates these tweaks that I was telling you about. So heretofore, when I would run the weighted batch processing script, and this is for a one-shot color camera. This video is specifically for a one-shot color camera. And so let's take a look by loading some files from January the 16th. And here are my light frames. So let's go ahead and open those up. And let's open up I took bias, but I also took some hang on just a minute. I took some flat darks, so let's open up our flat darks and our darks. They're grouped together. And I'll show you. If we go up here to our darks, you're going to see where I have the flat darks also loaded. And that's where your flat darks go. They go in the dark category. And then here are my 300-second darks to match my 300-second light frames. All we need now are our flats. And so we're going to head back over here and we will find the flats and load those up. So now we have our darks, flats, our flat darks, and our light frames. We're ready to rock and roll. And if we go over here to calibration and click on our lights, I'm going to make this change to automatic. I'm going to apply this to all frames. I'm going to load my cosmetic script, which is up here. I already made the template. I have a video on how to do that. So I'm going to apply that to all frames. We're going to select the color filter array because this is a one-shot color camera. And in this first run, we're not going to check this RGB. We're not going to change this. We're going to use the VNG debayer method, and we're going to apply that to all frames. In the second run, we're going to use the super pixel, and but this one is going to be VNG, and I'll try to explain the difference. In your RGB image, there's a red component, a blue, and a green component. What VNG does, it takes the red component and it identifies the red data, and the rest of the image that doesn't have any red data, it interpolates and populates the rest of the image with its best guesstimate. And so the green channel and so the blue channel. So they're very large files, and the red channel has the red component and other interpolated values of red, as do the blue and the green. when you run the superpixel, you have just the red component, and there is no interpolation on the red channel. The same thing with the blue and the green, so it's a smaller file. And because it is a smaller file, the resolution is much different, as you will see. So when we run it. So in this case, though, we're running VNG. It's a larger file, more resolution, and when we finish making all of our selections, we want to select the maximum quality, and we're going to go over here to post calibration, and we're going to select combine. So we're going to have one RGB image, and let's head back over also to the lights, because we want to uncheck generate drizzle. This first run is going to be what we generally do when we're shooting a Smith Cassegrain that is undersampled or oversampled. So we've oversampled this image, and in a big way. So drizzling is not something you generally do. Now, that's what you generally do not do, but I recommend that you drizzle all one-shot color camera images, and we're going to see why in just a few minutes. So this won't be drizzled in this run, and we have subframe weighting, image registration, local normalization, and we'll integrate the images all in the weighted batch processing script. And I think we're ready to run this. Actually, I've already ran it. We're just going to bring it up. I just want to show you how everything was set up. And we're going to pick for this one. This one was I created a directory called 1-pix, and the first run, all the output was stored here. Now, when I finished this run, then I repopulated everything again. I put in my files, hang on a minute. I put in my darks, my flats, my lights, all again, did just like I did it the first time, and I changed this to superpixel, and I apply that to all frames, and everything else stayed the same. But over here on post calibration, I selected separate the RGB channels. So now I'm going to have a separate channel R, a separate channel G, and a separate channel B. And there'll be monochrome, and then we will combine those once we have completed running this. We're going to select the maximum quality, and we're going to pick a new directory. This time we'll put the second directory output. So the biggest difference then between the first run and the second run is that we're going to separate the images, and now we have 61 red frames, 61 green, and 61 blue. And we have 5 hours and 50 minutes of each. So when we run this, which we're not going to do because it's already been ran, we're going to come up with this data. So first thing I want to do is, oh, by the way, on this last run, the second run, on the first run we didn't drizzle, and this brings everything we just loaded back up. But on this on the second run we do drizzle. On the first run we didn't. So this was our second run: RGB, superpixel, cosmetic correction, automatic, post calibration, separate, RGB, monocolor, and that's the difference. All right. Now, what we're going to want to, let's just compare what the superpixel image looks like compared to the original first run, and I think you'll be surprised at how much more resolution the original run will have. So let's open up, let's see, I don't know what directory we're in here. All right, this is the second run, and we're going to have, see what you got here. Here are our local normalized files. So for the blue channel, we have the reference normalized file that was used. We don't need that. We just open up these three child. Now, if you want to look at the reference image that they use for local normalization, this is where you do it. But you don't need this. You don't use those in processing. You just use those if you have problems and you want to see if there's an explanation in the reference file as to why you're having problems. So we're going to open up our three RGB grayscale images. And as you would expect, we have a high rejection and a low rejection for each. This is the red channel high, red channel low, and this is our red channel. And we're going to call this one red new technique. It has super pixel, and we also obviously separated the two the channels. And this is our high rejection green, low rejection green, and this is our green underscore new technique. And we can stretch those, and as you would expect, it's green scale. And then this is our high blue, low blue, and our blue new. Now, this is the undrizzled. We did drizzle when we ran this script, but we haven't drizzled the images yet. These are virtually undrizzled. So let's take a look at them. These are blue. Now let's combine them. Let's get our RGB combined. And let's reset this. And let's put our blue in the blue channel. Put our green in the green channel. And our red in the red channel. And let's run it globally. And so now we have our RGB image, new technique. All right, and let's close that out. Let's keep that part open. And now let's go and open up the original processing technique, which is what I've done up until now. And I'm going to go to the master file, and I'm going to have one RGB image, 300 second, and this is the RGB local normalization reference file. And then here are our master dark, flat, our dark, and our flat frame. All we want is our light frame. And we're opening that up. We'll have three, high rejection, low rejection, and we're going to call this identifier. We're going to call this RGB old, and stretch. Now, I told you that when we run super pixel, that we're not going to be interpolating and applying pixels to the whole image. Instead, we're just going to take the separate grayscale blue, green, and red. Those images are just only have the red or the green or the blue data in them. No interpolation, smaller files. So let's see how much smaller they are. Let's go up to, let's just pick, let's go over to the side where you're going to see the color problems with these images, with these stars. Let's go here. And it's not as bad here because, why? It's the new technique and we're combining them. Now I'm going to drop this right here. And I want you to see two things. The difference in size. Look how more resolution we have, how much more resolution we have here Look at the stars, how many more pixels, and how blocked this is. And that's because no interpolation took place in the use of superpixel. Over here in the original, in the older version, we're using the VNG de Baer pattern, it interpolated where there wasn't any color data and just guessed. Over here, there was no guessing. If there was red data, it recorded it, and that was it, nothing else. So as a result, we have an image that now definitely needs to be drizzled. Because if you drizzle this, then you will recover that resolution. And as you can tell, there's red on this side of this star, and there's blue on this side of the star, but that doesn't exist here. It'll really be easier to see once I've drizzled and combined the drizzled. So let's don't lose these. Let's keep these up here like so. And let's bring up Drizzle integration. And let's add our files. We're going to go to the 6th. Let's see, we're on the 16th of January. We're going to go to the second run is when we drizzled. And we're going to go to registered. And we're going to click on the blue first. And these are the drizzled files. You can see it has XDRZ for drizzle. And we're going to grab those. We're going to bring those up. And these are the settings. We do not need a region of interest. I'm only going to drizzle 2 times. There's no need to go more. Drop shrink will stay at 90, 0.90. Kernel function is square. And we're going to not check enable CFA drizzle. Why? Because this is no longer a color filter array. This is a grayscale. So it's a grayscale. What color is it? It's blue. So we're going to run this, click, and I'll come back when it's finished. Okay, we're finished drizzling the first one, and we will apply a temporary stretch, and this is our blue channel. We're going to just call this blue, and we're going to set this over here. This is going to be our working image on processing this image. Now let's clear, and let's add files from the registered folder for the green channel. And when we're finished with the green, we'll do the red, and then we will combine those, and you'll see a significant improvement in this new technique using superpixel. And by dividing the RGB image in the weighted batch processing script and processing them differently, separately, I mean, that's really worth adding to your workflow. I'll be back when this is finished. In fact, I'll run this, and then I'll go ahead and drizzle the red data, and we'll be back after that's done. Okay, we're back. We're about done with the red, and that'll finish off the drizzle. We're on number 60, and we're getting close. And we are done. So I'm going to close out drizzle. And here's our red component, grayscale image. Okay. Now, let's go back to our RGB combine. You can find that by going up to process, all processes, and coming down here to channel combination. No, it's up here, channel combination. Yeah. Process, all process, channel combination. So we're going to clear this out, put a red in, green in, and our blue in, and let's run that. Okay, now let's call this RGB new and stretch it. Now the biggest difference between the RGB old and RGB new, the biggest difference between these two is that in the RGB old we used the VNG barometric pattern. We used the superpixel in the new. In the old, we did not separate the images in post-calibration. We elected to keep the images and process as a single image, RGB image. So that's the old. In the new, we separated the images in the post-calibration phase of the weighted batch processing script, and then we drizzled at the same time. And we took the drizzled images and we've combined them. So these are the drizzled images using superpixel, and we're going to zoom up on these. We're going to go out to where the stars would be the worst, towards the, let's just say right in here. So let's now, let's go down and let's look at these three stars right here. This one, and this one. Let me bring this over a little bit. And then I'm going to drag this on top of this label. You can't drag it on the bar, you got to drag it on the label. And we're going to get the same images. And here's what I want you to notice. We have the same resolution. In fact, it looks like we even have better resolution here than we have on the original. Now, if you remember, when we took the new technique and we didn't drizzle it, we were very pixelated in our stars. We didn't have the color, but we were very pixelated. When we drizzled, we're back to having even better resolution. Compare this star with this star. Compare the red color on around this side and the blue color around this side. And if you go over to the other side of this image and you go up and find some stars, you'll notice that the red color's on the right side, whereas over here it's on the left. And the green color's on the left side, where over here it's on the right. It kind of flips. So as a matter of fact, we'll drag that over and you'll see that we're on the same side now. And this is virtually without that problem. Here's the problem. We don't have that problem. We fixed it by separating the channels and drizzling and using superpixel. Isn't that cool? I think that's the coolest thing. Thank you, Adam Block, for detailing how this all works. And I'm blown away. Can't wait to work on some more images, especially with these longer focal lengths. So with that being said, guys, I hope everybody has a great rest of the day, and I'll catch you later.